Welcome to Pleasant Hill Vineyards, where we don't just make wine, we grow it. Today we have the pleasure of speaking with the owners, Nick and Ross Corder. We'll be discussing the intricacies of wine production, from vineyard management to distribution, and gaining insights from their journey in the industry. Now let's hear from Nick and Ross. Can you describe the soil composition here at Pleasant Hill Vineyards and how it influences grape quality?
All right, the type of soil we have is a clay loam. It's a heavy clay, which retains water well. But that is bad sometimes. You have too much rain. The clay soil we have produces a really nice red wine. Your red wines do well in clay soils. Whereas if we had like the limestone soils that they have up in New York, they do real well for white wines. We try to keep the nitrogen to the soil. About every other year, we hit it with nitrogen. And we keep our rows clean as we can of weeds, which rob the nutrients away from the grapevines themselves. So.
How does the slope of the land affect grape growth and overall vineyard productivity?
Here in Athens, Ohio, we have there's not very many flat areas. It's perfect for raising grapes. We have a heavy slope. Grapes do not like wet feet. They don't like watered, slushy lowland areas. They like good drainage, and we definitely have that. Because of frost, the frost roll down off the hill. We have our grapes on top of the hills, which gives us a lot of air wash. So when we have rain, they dry quicker. You don't want a lot of humidity and wet grapes because you have a chance of getting molds and mildews.
What indicators help determine when grapes are at their peak ripeness for harvesting?
It's an approach. We have to monitor the sugar levels. And it's pretty simple. We put it on a spectrum and we can see what bricks at a certain level to harvest those grapes. We usually try to get to 21 to 22 bricks, and that's with French hybrids. That's not the case in every wine or every type of grape. But if we get up to that brick level, then we're very happy. That will give us the alcohol content and the flavor for the whole fermentation process.
Have you faced challenges with animals like birds, bees, or insects?
We have had some problems with that. We've adapted by netting all of our vineyards. When the brick level, the sugar level is just high enough, we'll attract the animals, the deer, the birds. We net for the birds and the raccoons. We have electric fence up for the deer. It seems like everything in the world wants to eat a grape. As far as the insects go, we do spray. We used to spray a lot more. The Japanese beetles was the biggest problem.
What about larger animals like deer? Have they posed any threat to the vineyard?
They don't eat the grapes. They chew up the vines. They chew up the fresh shoots, and they do damage to the leaf structure and everything else, which can affect your harvest. But the main culprit is the raccoons.
And the birds.
And the birds. And we tighten the vines up, like you said, and we wrap them up real tight all the way around so nothing can get in. And then we pull all this off right before, the day before we harvest.
We don't have to net until they go through vorage or color change. Right. That's when the birds will attack them. So basically, right around July, end of July, just about 3 to 5 weeks before harvest is when we have to net them. That's when the birds really start hitting them.
How long can an average wine be stored before it reaches its optimal aging potential?
Of course, it depends on if it's a red or white. Your white wines you usually want to drink within 4 years. Your red wines are usually better if you wait 4 years. Tannin plays a huge part. When you make wine, white wines, you harvest, crush the stem, and press and ferment without the skins. Red wines are fermented on the skins, which means you bring out tannin, color, and those are the things that make that wine more structured. It also makes them biting and harsh. The only way to precipitate tannin out of wine is age. So we age our wines right around 55 degrees. And wine does not like heat, light, or vibration. So we try to keep those out of the picture. But again, the aging process is huge and what temperatures you age it at. And it's very huge in the finishing out of the wine.
After production, where do you distribute your wines? Do you focus on local markets, retail, or international sales?
We distribute our wine to local places around here. There's about six or seven places locally owned. Distributors, some small drive-throughs, places about 15 miles from here, 6 miles, here in town, not too far away, but all local owned. We have a few small locally owned grocery stores that we sell to. And we kind of keep it that way because we don't want to distribute too much out. We don't produce enough. We want everyone to come out and experience the atmosphere here and have the wine here. And but we usually do about 100 or 200 cases of wine to each of those places per year, which is not too much, but it helps people around the area get their hands on the wine. And but we sell majority of our wine out of house here, and I think you might just have to come out and try it for yourself and try the food and see a view and maybe catch a sunset out there and talk to this handsome man right here when you come out.
All our food's homemade from scratch, by the way.
Yeah.
My wife
and my wife
and his wife do most of the cooking. We have soup nights on Wednesday nights. We do fondue Fridays in the winter and Italian nights in the winter also. In the summer we do wood-fired pizzas. And we also have some appetizers that are all homemade. We make our own breads. They even make their own butter. So we always have something to go pair nicely with the wine.
And the menu changes every week.
Every week.
So if you have any suggestions, you call in and let us know if you want, and they'll do the best.
We'll give it our best shot.